Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
Alright, in this video I'll share with you my thoughts about UAE fining or giving a fine to around 441 plus firms, 100,000 dirhams fine for violating the Emiratization policy. Okay, and those of you who are interested in this topic, put your thoughts and comments down below. I definitely read them. In case you're new to my channel, my name is Loy Machedo. I lived in UAE for 40 years, and that's why one of my main services is helping people get well-paying jobs in UAE, especially Dubai, because I understand the loopholes of the system, including people who want to go to Saudi, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman. Then the other countries are Canada, Australia, Europe, UK, and parts of US, because I have my contacts over there. And finally, the other service is, which is very popular, people book my consultation and coaching for one-to-one sessions, whether they have personal problems or professional issues. Details are put down below. Now, about UAE. See, I lived in UAE 40 years, my parents 55 years, my friends 3 generations, 4 generations. You're talking of the days where if you wanted to come to UAE, nothing but sand, small, like villas. You'd come on a dove, which is like a boat, wooden boat, and your passport was just two papers, like cardboard with your photograph and handwritten. That was your passport and so-called visa. So we have seen UAE grow from being a desert to what it is today. And there are some fundamentals that cannot change. Okay? Some basic things. People can modernize themselves, but the core never changes. Now, in Emiratization, this was a policy introduced by the government to make sure that the burden of employment is not just on the government. You should also, expats who have businesses, employ one Emirati, one citizen. But now the problem is the government pays very good salaries, very good packages. They can afford to pay big salaries. In fact, the difference between the normal sector, the private versus government, the perks and benefits are sometimes 5 times, 6 times more. And on top of that, every year, because they earn profits, they give 5 salaries, 6 salaries as bonus. There is multiple days off. There is a retirement scheme, pension, medical benefits. You can't compare a government job to a private company. So every Emirati, his goal is to work in a government sector. But now, because the government has only so many jobs, it has told the expats, listen, you have to take in Emiratis. And remember, expatriates or foreign nationals, they are literally 90%. The Emirati population is hardly 9% or less than that. So in a population of 10 million, example, less than a million are Emiratis. Okay. Now comes the first problem, that was that. The second problem is the UAE government has been trying constantly employ. They've been telling Emiratization, mandatory, and they made a rule. If you have 50 people, you employ one guy. So just 1 or 2 people for every 50. But now companies, they tried their level best. They tried employing some Emirati. But now here is where the problem begins. An Indian or expat has job fear, needs a visa. If he doesn't do work, you can tell him, I'll cancel your visa, get lost. You can threaten him. You can punish him. Because he knows this is not his country. And the last thing he wants to do is be kicked back from the country he came from. But now for an Emirati, this is his own country. What are you going to do? Threaten them? He'll tell you, you know who I am? Local. They actually say, I'm local. They will tell you that, and then they'll go to the ministry, complain about you. And the ministry takes it very seriously. They are always on the side of the citizens. Any country, they will support their citizens. They will not support the expatriate, no matter how, whatever you say, how fair a country is or whatever. There is a tendency, our country, our people. Okay. But now, why is this Emiratization failing? It's a very simple thing, yeah. I'll give you an analogy so you understand. Let's say a classroom. Okay, in a classroom. How many people want to get the first rank, second rank, third rank? The people who want to get the highest marks are hardly, you could say, 10% of the students. 10%. Okay? The rest, let's take the Pareto principle, 80-20. 20% really want to work hard and get some high marks. The rest, 80%, don't care. They just, chuma man, let's have fun, let's relax. Or they are average performers. So if you take the same principle with the Emiratis, 10% will be the achievers, the creme de la creme. And believe it or not, I've spoken to some of them. Those Emiratis are amazing. They are very educated, very ambitious. They really want to achieve greatness. Okay? They will work day and night. They're very enterprising. They are, you know, the movers and shakers of the world. But those are the 10% Emiratis. The rest, 10 or 20%, the rest, they're just like normal guys here. Like, for example, you. Look at your company. How many employees are there? Can you seriously evaluate how many employees are the creme de la creme, the number one, who will really move the heavens, the earth? They will work 24 hours a day. They will be world-class achievers. They will do whatever the boss wants. They are the prized possessions of the company. They're the top achievers. How many are there? If I ask you in your company how many are there, say, Loy, hardly 10%, 20%. 20 is max. Hey, doggy. Want to pet? So 10% are the creme de la creme. Another 10% you can add. So again 80-20. So when different nationalities, or not Emiratis, who are maybe your own people, your own friends, you have the 80-20 principle, where only 10% are achievers and the next 10 are hard workers. The rest don't care. Don't you think the same is with Emiratis? So the creme de la creme, it's very hard to get them to work for you. They'll work for the government. They want the perks and benefits that nobody can offer. Then maybe the next 10, they would want to work in multinational companies. They are also ambitious because just like you and me, they also want to make big money. Then who's left? 80%. Now these 80%, what do they want? Easy money. Who doesn't want easy money? Tell me. If you check anybody, I see so many resumes. So many people want jobs. Take it from me. All these guys, whatever the salary they are getting, they want double the salary. Seriously. And then there are people from India who are, I don't know, as average can be. They want 10 times, 20 times the salary. I have met people who are not even fit enough to be an executive. They want to be a director, they want to be a manager. They want 10, 20 times the. So if you have expats from India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan who want 10 times, 20 times the salary, an Emirati in his own country who by default gets paid 10 times more than or 5 or 10 times more than an expat. You think he wants a low salary? You think he wants a difficult job? You think he wants to work extra hours? You think he wants to take shit from an expat, an outsider who's come to his country? You seriously think? And that is what makes it impossible to employ an Emirati. One is they don't care. Second is they don't need a job. They just want. So when it's a want, they want the sun, moon and stars. Look, I've even spoken to, I have Emiratis who are like my friends. They themselves, some of them, they have a few perks. I wouldn't say too many perks. Free land or free house or free housing loan, or maybe they have 4-5 cars. Maybe their salary is much more higher than any expat. But they are not going to compare their salary to an expat. They'll compare their salary to what an Emirati is getting. They'll compare it to the highest what they know. And they'll want higher than that or equal to that. So how do you force an Emirati to work for you? The problem is these companies are being forced by the government. You must employ a Emirati. So the desperation is not on the employee. The employee is not desperate to get a job. There are only two positions. They don't care. It is the employer. And now he is desperate. Now, have you tried in your life to force somebody to study, to force somebody to work hard, to force somebody to do something when they don't care, when they don't need something? Like, for example, nowadays parents have their children. They pay their school fees, they pay house rent, they pay for their education, they give them pocket money, they give them a comfortable house, they give them a car, they give them, whatever they want. You think this young kid or kids who get everything what they want to work hard, they want to slog, they want to take shit from an employer? You think they are in desperate need to look for a job? No. As long as mom and dad take care of them, pay all their bills, and give them a good life, they'll not want to work hard. Same thing with the Emiratis, man. Now, this video is not to badmouth the Emiratis. It is in every single country where you give things easy. Like in US, free education. Who wants to study? Unemployment benefits. Take free money. Who wants to go to work? If you give them free, anything for free you give them, they'll not value it, man. In fact, try your own relatives. Give them a couple of things for free. Will they take care of it? Only you will take care of your things. Somebody else will not. You can give them your car, you can give them a computer, you can give them whatever you want. They will not take care of it because they don't need it. They don't value it. The same way with Emiratization, these guys, what they want is a very expensive, big position, well-paying job in the government, which will give them the future. They want to drive four-wheel drives, the latest BMW, the latest Mercedes-Benz, the Rolls-Royce, the big money. And it's nothing wrong. They are ambitious. They want a good life. They want 6-7 months bonus every year, extra salary. They want world-class amenities. It's their country. They have a right. So can a expatriates company, expat who has left home he has left his own country to start a business, who's living hand to mouth, who's trying to save every penny. You think he can afford to keep a local? And one local is like having 10 expatriates. That is one expense. Then the headache is 100 times more, because you'll tell him what to do, he'll tell you, shut your mouth. He can come late. He will demand, I want my own office, on my own space. I don't want pressure, don't want targets. What will you do? Threaten him? I'll terminate you? I'll kick you out of this country, I'll kick you out of this job? He'll say, you are talking to me, you know who I am. Finish. And trust me, if they complain to the ministry, you are in serious trouble. I've spoken to businessmen. I know what they go through. See, overall, I'll tell you this. UAE, Saudi, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, they can try their country's name, Zation, Omanization, Kuwaitization, Saudiization, Emiratization, Qatarization. Whatever Zation you want, you put. You can do it in any country in the world. Make it mandatory to employ someone. But if someone doesn't have the fire, doesn't have the passion, doesn't have the need, and doesn't care a damn, if there is no fear, people will. We are living in a dystopian society where, like, some of the movies they show, it's a grim, futuristic society where people will kill. Like, for example, on social media, how many keyboard warriors are there who threaten people, threaten their wives, threaten their children for an opinion? Why? Because they feel no rules apply to them. People, when they are driving, do they obey the laws? Do they drive safely? Road rage is so common. But the minute they get caught by the police, the minute they get caught by the law, little bit of fear comes in. In some countries, even if the police catches you, they are not afraid, because they have that much ego up their head. So in the same way, the citizens of the country, they are not going to take crap from any expat. I can assure you this much: no matter how much the government tries, no matter how much incentive they offer, every company will try. But these guys who are working there, they'll want a better life. If you give them 10,000, they will want 15. You give them 15, they'll want 20. I mean, look at you who's watching the video. Don't you want a higher salary? Don't you want higher income? Don't you have big dreams? I'll tell you, you want to know the real impact of fear. The day these Arab countries make it, you don't need a visa, a working visa to stay in the country. You don't have to be employed by one company. You can change jobs at your will. Like the Emiratis, you can just change your job anytime you want. Take it from me, that very day, maybe 90% of people will resign and look for other jobs. Because everybody wants big money, easy money, big jobs, better jobs. And when there's nothing to fear, then you can't control people. Emiratis have nothing to fear. They are not in need. They are not in need. Yes, they do have expenses. Yes, they want a better life. Yes, they have dreams. But an expat businessman, an expat company, or an expat cannot control, cannot take care, cannot make an Emirati do his will. And when you can't control an employee, you're in big trouble. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. Until today, has Emiratization worked for small tech? Okay, big multinational companies, fine. They can offer perks and benefits and future. Government companies, fine. They have the control. You know you lose a lot. A small local company, run by an expat, 50 people. Can you control a Emirati? Can you give him fear? Can you order him what to do? Can you shout at him like you shout at other people? He will talk to you as if you're his employee. I've seen this. And they'll care a damn. UAE can fine another 5,000 companies. Emiratization is not going to work. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share. You let me know your thoughts. I think it's possible to make these guys work, to give them the fear of God in them, to tell them this is your boss, this Indian, Pakistani, Bangladesh, Sri Lankan is ordering you. Better do or he'll terminate you. You ever see Emirati shaking? Forget that. You see an Emirati working for the same salary as an Indian, Pakistani, Sri Lankan. You ever see them doing manual labor? Never. Emirati will never do these jobs. High level management jobs. So when you pamper them, put them on the head like this, what do you expect? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. And like I said, I'm not talking of all the Emiratis. The Pareto principle always applies, 80-20. Okay? Think about what I said. Let me know your thoughts. It's me signing off. You guys take care.